Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to take on one of the most striking and symbolic incidents of recent times. The moment when Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was rushed to safety as Israeli strikes burned an airport. We are not going to treat this as a short news update, but as a complete review in the style we always use. That means examining the exterior, the interior, the performance, the safety features, the unique selling points, the price, and finally the conclusion. When we look at events this way, we strip away the noise and get to the structure, just like we would when reviewing a car, a piece of technology, or a major cultural release. The difference here is that the subject is not a product of industry, but a dramatic event shaped by politics, conflict, and human choices. The first thing that strikes you is the exterior. An airport under fire is one of the most powerful visuals you can imagine. Because airports are meant to represent connection, order, and safety, they are hubs where the world meets, where families reunite, where journeys begin, and where nations demonstrate their openness to the global community. To see one burning is to see that promise inverted. The fire, the rising smoke, the bright flashes of destruction, and the chaos on the tarmac all combined to create a picture that was impossible to ignore. This exterior is the packaging of the event, the cover photo that will sit in history books and digital archives. Just as with a product where the exterior design tells you something about what is inside, the exterior of this moment shouted its message to the world: danger, urgency, and disruption. It is worth lingering on the details of this exterior, because the flames licking through the airport hangars and the thick plumes of smoke drifting into the skyline were not just physical phenomena. They were symbols. Smoke rising from an airport says something about the fragility of borders, the vulnerability of even the most guarded spaces, and the reach of conflict into what are supposed to be civilian safe zones. For Israel, which has often projected strength and security, the image of one of its key infrastructures ablaze underlined that no place is beyond risk. For Netanyahu, that backdrop framed the urgency of his evacuation. Inside, the story was tighter, more compressed, and more human. The interior of this incident was defined by narrow corridors, armored cars, flashing lights, and quick movements. Imagine for a moment what it must feel like to be inside that convoy, knowing that beyond the tinted windows and bulletproof panels, the sky is lit with fire and the world is watching. The interior is not spacious, it is not cinematic, it is not comfortable, it is functional, hurried, and disciplined. The core of the story here is about how quickly a leader can be moved from a place of exposure to a place of security. The men and women who make up the protective detail are trained for years to handle these exact moments, and their actions unfold with practiced precision. The interior perspective of this event is not about politics or ideology, but about logistics and time. Seconds matter. Decisions must be made instantly. There is no room for hesitation, no margin for error. The inside reality of this evacuation is short and sharp. It does not have the dramatic visuals of the exterior, but it is the beating heart of the event, the place where survival is in performance is the category where we truly see how the systems involved measure up. When we evaluate performance in a review, we ask, did it do what it was supposed to do? And how well did it handle stress? In this case, performance was displayed on two fronts. On one side, the Israeli security forces tasked with protecting Netanyahu delivered an impressive display of coordination. From the moment the risk was identified, the extraction unfolded with speed and without visible error. Convoys moved, routes were secured, and communication between units flowed in real time. This kind of performance is not improvised. It is the result of countless drills, simulations, and rehearsals, designed to ensure that when the real crisis arrives, the response is instinctive. On the other side, we must also look at the performance of the Israeli strikes themselves. Airports are not easy targets. They are sprawling complexes with hardened facilities, surveillance systems, and international visibility. To strike them in a way that causes visible damage is to send a deliberate signal. The performance of the military machine was effective in making that signal clear. Together, the performance elements here demonstrated two things: the precision and efficiency of a security system around one leader, and the reach and impact of a national military operation. Both delivered under pressure, both reinforced the seriousness of the moment, and both left an impression that will not fade quickly. Safety features are always crucial to any review, and here they were tested in real time. For Netanyahu, the safety envelope includes armored vehicles designed to withstand blasts, bulletproof shielding, advanced communication systems, and a protective detail trained not just in escort but in combat if needed. These are not optional add-ons, they are the built-in features of leadership in a region where threats are constant. What makes safety features interesting in this context is how invisible they usually are. On most days, these systems operate quietly in the background, unnoticed by the public. But in this incident, they became visible through action. The way Netanyahu was moved, the way vehicles were positioned, the way communication flowed, all of it revealed a network of safety that is rarely seen but always present. At the same time, the contrast must be acknowledged. While the Prime Minister benefited from state-of-the-art protection, ordinary civilians at the airport did not. For them, safety features were limited to whatever shelters they could find, whatever protocols were in place, and ultimately, to chance. This imbalance is a key part of the review. The elite safety systems worked flawlessly for the leader, but the broader population was left exposed. It is a reminder that in times of crisis, safety is unevenly distributed, and leadership survival often comes at the cost of highlighting that disparity. What makes this story stand out, what gives it unique selling points, is the way it combines symbolism, setting, and time. The symbolism is powerful. A prime minister being evacuated in his own country during a strike launched by his own forces. He is both the commander of the operation and the protected passenger being shielded from its consequences. That dual role creates a paradox that few events can replicate. The setting adds another unique layer. Airports are universal spaces. Everyone has experienced the sense of anticipation, connection, or separation that airports represent. To see one burning resonates with audiences worldwide because it touches a space that is familiar and important to all. Finally, the timing gives this incident its sharp edge. This was not a slow-moving crisis with days of build-up. It unfolded quickly, with visuals captured almost instantly and spread across media in real time. That immediacy gives the story its punch. If this were a product on the market, the unique selling points would be clear. A rare combination of leadership under fire, a global setting turned into a battlefield, and a real-time spectacle that compresses politics, strategy, and human drama into one event. But every product, every event, comes with a price. And here the price was heavy. Financially, the cost of repairing damaged infrastructure, rerouting flights, and deploying military resources is immense. Airports are expensive to build, maintain, and repair, and even minor damage can disrupt national and international logistics for days or weeks. Politically, the price is measured in credibility and perception. When a prime minister is seen being rushed to safety, it sends a signal that even the highest levels of leadership are vulnerable. That may reassure allies that safety protocols are effective, but it also emboldens adversaries who see that no one is beyond reach. Diplomatically, the price is paid in strained relationships, international criticism, and shifts in alliances. Other nations watch closely when such incidents occur, and their responses shape the global political landscape. The human price is perhaps the most significant. For civilians caught in the strikes, fear and uncertainty became their reality. Families disrupted, workers displaced, lives endangered. These are the costs that cannot be calculated on a balance sheet, but that linger long after the flames are extinguished. The price of this incident is therefore multifaceted: financial, political, diplomatic, and human. It is a price that Israel, Netanyahu, and the region will continue to pay in different ways. As we come to the conclusion, it is clear that this incident, reviewed through the lens we use for products and events, offers a complete and unforgettable profile. The exterior was dramatic and unforgettable, an airport in flames that symbolized chaos and vulnerability. The interior was urgent and compressed. A leader moved quickly through narrow channels of protection. The performance of both the protective detail and the military was sharp, disciplined, and effective under stress. The safety features worked perfectly for the leader, though their absence for civilians highlighted a painful disparity. The unique selling points were undeniable. Symbolism, setting, and timing combined to make this a story that captured the world's attention. The price, however, was steep, paid in money, in politics, in diplomacy, and in human experience. Altogether, the review shows us a moment that encapsulates the risks of leadership, the volatility of conflict, and the cost of survival. It is a reminder that in the theater of global politics, every event is not just a headline, but a layered product of history, strategy, and human decision. And as always, the conclusion brings us back to the same lesson. Survival is not just about one leader escaping danger, but about the broader story a nation tells the world when its prime minister is rushed to safety against a backdrop of fire and chaos.